I love how dramatic that music is.
Fantastic.
I love it. Good afternoon,
I love the
everybody.
way when you come in, there's this line straight through your head as well.
I don't know how to work. I don't know how to work the buttons. I know. Yeah, you think, oh, is this how it's going to be? Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about networking. Friday afternoon. We have nearly made it to the weekend. It's nearly there. Half an hour, and you can sit back and relax with a pina colada or whatever you want to do on a Friday night. Welcome. This is the point in the week where we talk a little bit about networking, and we actually speak to somebody who's involved in networking, involved in business, and we just get to know them a little bit. So, and I have the fantastic Kevin with me. Kevin, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Liam. It's great to be here.
Now, we were just talking off air backstage that you're actually based in the middle of nowhere. Is that right?
Well, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of lucky enough to live. It's Greater Manchester, between Bury. It's a place called Ashworth, the Ashworth Valley, and I can look out my kind of office window here, and just see trees and greenery. We can walk out the back gate and straight into the fields, up the hills. Sensational. And seriously, up until kind of, I don't know, March, April time of last year, we really didn't appreciate what we had. And then, of course, we went into the first lockdown and bam, what are we going to do? So we started walking locally and it's just sensational. We just continued. It's just absolutely fantastic. And kind of, for the mental health is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I
suppose that's my first question. How have you kept yourself sort of in balance then over the past, well, it's nearly 12 months now. How have you kept yourself, level-headed? Because it's been obviously a strange time, and lots of people have suffered. But how have you worked that with having a business?
Well, I think that what I've just said in terms of being able to go out, that is a real stress reliever. There's absolutely no question about that. And, you kind of need that with business, which, as again, absolutely no question, suffered as a consequence of the lockdown. I have a commercial cleaning company, and and also a domestic one, and a number of our customers, particularly on the domestic side, are retired, are potentially vulnerable. And so it's just not made any sense us going in to see them. And likewise, on the commercial side, we provide service to offices, car showrooms, all of which have closed or suffered and kind of really racked back during lockdown. So it's very difficult to keep the balance. Being able to get out definitely helps. A couple of the other things I do, in terms of pastimes as well, kind of help. And we've tried to introduce a couple of new products into the business, which has also helped help you think about these things. And of course, networking as well, William.
Well, I mean, that's a segue which we're going to come back to, I have to say. Okay. How did tell me about your thought process. Middle of March came around last year. This thing was creeping up on us, but quite quickly creeping up on us. What was your thought process when they said, right, this is what we're doing. We're going to stop all retail trade, stop going into people's houses and all that sort of stuff. What actually went through your mind at that stage?
Well, prior to the government providing support for furloughed employees, I was obviously very worried about the business, and it took a little while for the impact to come and hit us. But I was preparing, so doing the basic things, looking at who's going to stay open, where we can potentially grow the business, because people are going to stay, businesses are going to stay, some businesses are going to stay open. Looking at the impact of where I thought we were going to kind of lose, albeit on a temporary basis, lose business, and just secure the business in terms of cutting costs, kind of entrenching to a certain extent, and looking at new products as well.
Did your did you have to revise your growth plans, or and say, right, well, actually we'll tackle it in 2021, because we didn't actually know how long it was going to last? But what about, because we all want to grow our businesses, so how did it affect that side of it?
Quite significantly, and our growth plans were put on hold for absolute sure. There was some marketing stuff that we were going to do, which I basically just put on hold, just canned for, as it turns out, over 12 months. It's probably going to be 18 months before we kick in with what we intended to do.
And so I suppose we probably need to know a little bit more about your business, because it's all right as talking about a growth and all that, but actually, what is it that you do, Dane? You mentioned domestic, you mentioned commercial. Tell us about where it started. Actually, I suppose is the best place to start.
Okay, well, let me because it's evolved. So let me
okay.
what we do to start with. I have a couple of businesses. One is a commercial cleaning company, and that's kind of been around since the late 1970s. So it's been around a long time. It's a kind of regional business based around Bradford, Leeds, West Yorkshire, I guess more broadly. And the kind of things that we do there are, we do a lot of commercial window cleaning. So we go from 20-story buildings, 22-story buildings where we're cleaning the outside of the buildings, down to more modest kind of shops and retail outlets. So we do a whole range, or have a whole range of customers and building sizes. So that's kind of commercial window cleaning. Then we do office and internal cleaning. So we go in, on a daily basis to offices, clean those, car showrooms, clean those on a kind of daily basis. And then we do kind of a few bits and pieces that you just get asked by customers. Do you do this? And of course you say yes, and set about it. So we do carpet cleaning as well. And then, so that's Oakes and Terry, which is the name that's up there. And then the other business that I have is White Rose, company called White Rose Cleaning, which is a Halifax-based domestic cleaning company. And there, on either a weekly or fortnightly basis, we're going in to provide into people's homes to provide them with a cleaning service. Fairly straightforward in that sense. We do other little bits and pieces. So communal area cleaning for blocks, for residential blocks, that kind of thing. But it is pretty much focused on the domestic market. And then right now we're just launching a new product, which is an extra element to the business, which is aimed at helping combat the issues associated with COVID.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this has been a huge market for a lot of businesses, hasn't it? Dealing with COVID, and whether it's making screens or whether it's been dealing with waste or whatever. So yeah, that's got to be a real, in a strange way, a real bonus to your business in that there's a new market there.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's a product. We have a product called Novid Plus.
Okay.
And it's kind of where our conventional cleaning products end in terms of how they fight viruses and bacteria and the such like. Basically, they have a great capability to kill viruses and bacteria. So your normal cleaning products, you spray on a surface, you wipe the surface, and it kills the products. What it doesn't do is it doesn't then prevent recontamination of that surface. So pretty much immediately, once the product's dry, after a few minutes, there's no ongoing protection. And what we've introduced is a product that gives up to 14 days protection against reinfection of the surface.
Very good, very good.
So it kind of takes over, adds to what we already do.
Love that. And of course, a few minutes ago, you said that actually you had some marketing plans right at the very start. That's what was going to be your growth for 2020. So just this is a conversation about networking, but actually networking is part of is relationships, which is part of a whole marketing strategy. So what did that marketing strategy look like? Was it a new marketing strategy? And then I suppose we'll finish this question with, how does networking fit into that marketing strategy?
Okay, well, let me answer it by saying one of the very first things I learned about networking is be prepared to talk about your business. And it sounds so obvious that it sounds so obvious. But I remember the first time I started going to networking events, and and very specifically BNI, I kept getting asked the same question, which was, how can we help you? And, what do you need us to do? Who do you want to talk to? And that question helped me focus on who my target markets were very, very clearly, because without understanding that, I couldn't answer the question. So I focused really clearly on who my target markets were. And knowing that and understanding that is how I formulated the marketing plan. And very specifically, it was to grow the commercial window cleaning. So it was very focused on the window cleaning side of the business. And again, very specific target market, which was is property managers, who we do a lot of work for. They manage a number of buildings, and they place the type of the work that we're interested in doing. So that was kind of the marketing program.
And how long have you been networking for now?
It's about 12 years.
And is it absolutely now an integral part of what you do as a business? Is it something that you're gonna always have to do, or are you institutionalized? Why have you done it so long, I suppose, is my question.
Let's break it down. In terms of, is it an integral part of business growth and marketing? For 100%, yes. I mean, and again, that's something you learn pretty quickly once you start doing it properly and getting into networking. So yes, it is 100% part of what we do, and the reason that we do it is absolutely crystal clear, because we get money from it, we get business from it, and and we get business in a number of ways. It's not simply new business, or just the commercial window cleaning is a great example of, if I get business, a new piece of business, invariably it's a kind of repeat. We go and see the same customer every month, for example. So it's a great piece of new business for me. It just repeats and keeps on giving. So there's the benefit of new business, business that's gone on for a long time. But the other real benefit of networking is who you come into contact with and how they can help you in other ways. So within the first time that I had to renew my insurance, this is just another great example. And I have to say, it was BNI. I was in BNI at the time, well, still am. And the very first time I came to renew my insurance, our insurance broker in the chapter saved me. I think it was £12,000 on our annual insurance costs. Bam! Year one, I've paid for 12 years of BNI costs.
Incredible. And I suppose it's not talked about as much, is it? That support side of networking. The old adage is we join for the money, we join for the referrals, but we stay for something much more than that. Yeah. So and you're intelligent, and you wouldn't be still there if it didn't A, make you money, and B, you didn't have other things towards it as well.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a number of aspects to it. There's the cost savings that I've given you an example, and there's other ones within that. There's and again, this happened really kind of within the first couple of years. And I'll come on to this. Well, the accountant in the group just randomly out the blue rang me. Now, he wasn't at that time. He wasn't my accountant. I was using someone else, but he came across this, and it was to do with VAT schemes. He came across this one. I was thinking about VAT and schemes as accountants do, and thought, oh, I wonder what Kevin's doing. I wonder if this applies to Kevin, and just rang me out of the blue. And I remember where I was. It was one of those kind of defining moments in terms of the benefits of networking. And since then, we became good friends, and he is now my accountant. So there's kind of it's those added value elements to it that you kind of you don't expect and just appear. One of the other benefits that isn't talked about is just the kind of the friends that you make and the friendships that you make, and within our BNI group, there's probably 4 or 5 people that I know from when I joined, and after 12 years, like it or not, you become friends. So there's a really solid core group that you can go and talk to. And will help out. And just the other thing is that, just coming back to this new product, without a shadow of a doubt, I wouldn't have done it had I not been in the BNI group, because I know these guys are going to bend over backwards to help me promote the product. And of course, the first sales I made were to my BNI buddies.
Of course.
It's kind of, they were there to help and did help. So there's a whole raft of other kind of added benefits that you get, as well as the reason that you joined it initially, which is more business.
Brilliant. And now I'd be interested in your honest opinion in this next question, because 12 years or 11 years networking, BNI specifically, but it could be any groups. And then last year, middle of March, they said, you've got to be on your laptop. What's the thought process there then with you and that? And I'd be interested in, absolute honest opinions. Has it worked? Are you desperate to get back to seeing people and hugging people and all that sort of stuff? Go on, what's your thoughts?
Well, we do a lot of hugging in BNI, as you know. It's kind of mandatory. There's one or two I don't want to hug, I have to say, so I'm not kind of
fair.
Yeah. So going back to when it first happened, there was a kind of a hiatus, and we were running kind of online meetings as if we were in the room, and kind of it worked, but didn't work particularly well. It got us through that initial phase, and then that was changed, and the online meetings then adopted a different approach. So they became more succinct, kind of more direct. We concentrated on the things that were important to us as kind of members, as visitors, for visitors as well, and they've improved fantastically. The other thing that we did as a group early doors as well, particularly during the first lockdown, was, like a lot of people, we started kind of late night kind of Zoom meetings, Friday night kind of Zoom meetings. So we had the mandatory quiz.
Yes.
And then we had the not so mandatory social, but turned out that was the bit that you really wanted to get to. So the quizzes became shorter and shorter, and the socials longer and longer. So, and that really, really helped because it got partners involved as well. They'd
Love that.
they'd sit in on the quizzes. They'd join in the kind of then the chat, the social afterwards, and so it was really inclusive, and that helped maintain the chapter tremendously. Absolutely, really, really did. It sustained it very well. So I know there was, a few of my colleagues were, did kind of it affected them quite badly in terms of moving from face to face to online. And I think there's a few that's are really looking forward so they can hug me in the future. Particularly Toomsy. There is that it has affected people in different ways. On the whole, I'm kind of I'm happy with where we are at the moment in terms of the meetings. Obvious benefit is that we don't have to travel. So just walk down the hall, straight into the office, and you're good to go, kind of thing, with a cup of tea. So in that sense, it takes even less time out of your day than the face-to-face meetings. But I am kind of looking forward to getting to see everyone again, because it's and we're still doing business. The interesting thing, and of course it goes up and down. But we're a group of 18, and we did this. Last week we did 52 grams worth of business between us. I mean, which is phenomenal. That's pretty much £2.5 million worth on a pro rata basis. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal performance. Absolutely brilliant.
What advice would you give to? And you joined your group, your chapter, your team. Year 2010, 2009. What advice would you give to 2009 Kevin about networking that you've learned over that time? That you wish you'd have known then.
I thought I'd prepped perfectly.
You never always get a surprise question with Liam.
Yeah, well, they hadn't told me that, Liam. So going back to what I said earlier about the know your business, I think I would have prepped myself in terms of a real understanding of who I wanted to talk to, who my target markets were, in real kind of detail, not just generally, but so property managers. I want to talk to property managers. It's more specific than that. I could kind of really narrow it down and nail it down to a few specific ones. I think that would have been a key thing for me. Really get to grips with when you're asked, how can we help? Bang, very, very succinct kind of answer.
Love that. Got a couple of questions. Louise has asked, great stuff so far. Who would be good introductions for you now with your new product? So again, it's asking about being specific. This is the forum for it.
Yeah. Well, I can't help feeling that the new product would be great for a number of areas, but really being quite topical. Schools and nurseries. So they will get cleaned every evening, and which is fantastic. But then as all the students come back into the school, if one of those is asymptomatic, or one of the teachers is asymptomatic, you've got no idea. They can contaminate surfaces, and Novid Plus is there. And it's generally applied to high touch surfaces, so door handles, handrails, that kind of thing. So Novid Plus is there to just add that little bit of protection that to kill the virus on contact when it hits the surface treated with Novid Plus. So schools and nurseries, care homes, another great one. vulnerable residents there. It works against the flu virus as well. So it will do the business for coronavirus, but also flu. So care homes are vulnerable to flu as well. So care homes would be great. And then kind of anywhere that's coming back where there's a lot of, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of touching of surfaces in particular. So car showrooms, beauty salons, gyms, so they would be, anyone that knows any of, can introduce me to any of those 5 areas would be fantastic. Absolutely.
Love it. So if you not own a gym, you want to be absolutely COVID safe on the return, because we know that gyms are going to reopen in the next few months. Hopefully, we all want that. Then please get in touch. How can people get in touch with you, Kevin? Then if they actually, I probably want a conversation about that.
The best thing to do is drop me an email at info@novid.plus.
Love it. Love it. Robert said, can't wait to give Kevin a real hug instead of one of the many virtual ones. Thanks for watching, Robert.
I'm trying to avoid.
Absolutely right. That's fine. We don't mind that. We don't mind that at all. So that is great. So I suppose last question. What does the next 12 months hold then for your businesses, and maybe bring that into a networking angle as well?
I think we're just all hoping, aren't we, that the vaccine helps us get back to reasonable normality. I mean, it's clearly something we've been told we're going to have to live with this, forever and a day kind of thing. But back to if it gets us back to some form of normality, then I would love to think the business personally is going to grow. I can kick in those marketing plans that I alluded to earlier. I would like to think that the new product, Novid Plus, is something that will kind of continue, because it's got legs, it's got some longevity to it. And from a networking point of view, that is absolutely integral to our marketing going forward. Because it works, and because of that, I'm willing to put the hours in, the hard yards, work for everyone else in the group as well, get them the referrals and visitors they want.
Love that, Kevin. Honestly, I really appreciate. I know you're a busy chap. Really appreciate you spending half an hour with us, educating us and telling us about your business, telling us how networking's worked, in particular BNI. But I have to say that we are blessed across the region for some great networking opportunities. What I would say, if you think that actually, if you're watching this and you think, actually, you know what, I do want to grow my business in maybe a different way. I'm looking at what my marketing strategy is going to be, and you haven't networked before, you haven't built relationships with people, like-minded people, then Kevin's region has what they would say is kind of taster sessions, and sort of you can go and have a look at whether networking will be right for you. All you need to do is scan that QR code at the top of the screen right now. It will take you to a place where it will give you a bit of information about how to get more involved and how to visit a meeting, so you can just see what you think of it. And you know what? You might just meet the right kind of people on there who are really interested in your business and really want to help your business. As Kevin said right at the start, the key question that any networker should be asking is, how can I help you? And there are plenty of people, certainly in BNI, certainly in networking opportunities across the region, that will ask that question of you, and they are genuinely there to help you. So, Kevin, thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend, and you won't be going to the pub, so just enjoy being at home, I suppose.
Yeah, I've got the pub coming to me, so it's fine.
Love it. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Thank you, everyone.